Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Kadena, and just before we do, we look at Bitcoin quickly to kind of understand what's going on in the market. Bitcoin's trending right around 60,000. It's trying to break that potential support and resistance level. The one-day candlestick closed right at 60,000 yesterday, so we can kind of consider that a support level still. However, I still feel kind of bearish on Bitcoin, at least in the short term. Okay, so the next week or so, I think we're going to see some consolidation, sideways action, possibly see a worst-case scenario of 53,000 as a rough estimate. Just based on that, the GAN fan, we can kind of see that there's potential of the price coming down that low. That was a previous high before the El Salvador candle occurred on September 7th. So keep that in mind. But all in all, we do have a 50-day simple moving average working as a potential support here on the 1 day. However, we have a potential death cross on the 4-hour, which is forming here as well. So some conflicting information, but more bearish than bullish right now for Bitcoin as far as the short-term indicators are concerned. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kadena. And before we do, just know I'm not a financial advisor. This is always for educational purposes only. And also note, if you're new to the channel, of course, I love trading and I love teaching people how to become better traders. So you are in the right place if you want to learn a thing or two here to be more self-sufficient. I've got a trading community as well in case you want to learn how to effectively, become a better trader. And I send out signals for every single trade that I take too, so it's a profitable experience. But more importantly, you can kind of see how to properly structure a trade based on somebody that does this every single day for a living, right? So this is my full-time job and I love doing it, and I want to help you out, of course, if possible. So join that up, check that out in your own time. Now looking at the 1 day chart, quickly note here we got the support level here yesterday at about 1750 holding strong. Price bounced right off of that. In fact, for my review yesterday, I mentioned that it was best or advantageous to consider buying in this zone because of the fact that the price will likely increase due to the fact that we have these three candlesticks closing in a row, right? Because what happens is when you see 3 1-day candlesticks close in succession in the same direction, either bullish or bearish, the 4th day is traditionally a reversal. And we saw this here, right? If you look here, day 1, day 2, day 3. Those are 3 strong green candle days. What do you know? We got a red candle to follow that, okay? 1, 2, 3. There we go. And a red candle. A green candle to follow those 3 reds, right? So for lack of better terms, you can kind of see what I'm getting at here. Traditionally, there's a reason why there's candlestick patterns of 3 days in a row. It's considered 3 white soldiers. I think it's like 3 red crows or something. I forget the term for the bearish one, but it's bouncing back now today. That's making sense. That's kind of expected, and that's a good sign here all in all because we effectively hit the bottom. What's cool too is RSI is coming back up. It might actually come up over 70 on the RSI on the 1 day chart. That'd be awesome. We really just need to break through this resistance level of about $21.53. So 21.50 is a round number. It's trending towards that right now. If we can close above that, we should be able to see the RSI back over 70, which would be a great sign on the 1 day chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart here, we can see we're below the 50-day simple moving average still. So I wouldn't say it's problematic, but that could work as a potential resistance. But what do you know? It's trending right there at 21.50. So if we can break and stay above that, just say on the 1 day candlestick, we can get the 1 day candle to close above 21.50. Awesome. That'd be perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. The 200 is trailing behind, which is awesome. We also have the price back above 50 on the RSI. This is fantastic. We love to see this because when it's below 50 on the RSI, it's commonly referred to as a resistance level, a resistance zone, and it just broke through that. Now, it hasn't officially closed above, but RSI is above that. We're probably in pretty good shape, being a 4-hour chart. That's why I mentioned yesterday we had the price action somewhere in this zone here, closer to 30, indicates a buy signal, right? That's basically a buy zone. And we could see that how well the price was holding at this support level here, and we could effectively consider that as a strong support level right at about 1750. So strong support at 1750, buy the dip. I hope you did. And if so, we should be able to continue to ride this out for a little while because we're only about 3 or 4 candlesticks into this bullish momentous trend. So what's great is TD Sequential is going to let us know we have, about 5 hours left, 5 4-hour candlesticks, 20 hours left of potential bullish momentum, right? So I think breaking 2153 is likely. And here's the key takeaway. As long as Bitcoin doesn't dump sub 58,000, we lose that key level support, Kadena will probably continue to increase and recover to likely test its all-time high, right? I think we're going to see somewhere in the range of 28, 24 again here in the near future. I feel like the next week or two is very likely. I think by month end, we can give thanks that this is going to be higher than it is right now. I think that's a pretty strong likelihood. again, it got beat down based on the fact that it went up too high too fast. There's just no doubt about it. It retraced, and then obviously it had to retrace because November 10th occurred, and then of course a couple days ago as well, Bitcoin sold off again. So all in all, it's in good shape considering where it's at, where it's traveled, right? It's moved a lot. So all in all, good shape here at this point. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour chart, kind of see what's going on. We are back above the cloud. Even better. Excellent stuff here. This is great. In fact, let me look at the 4 hour. I forgot to look at the MACD. We had a MACD convergence just recently, about 4 hours ago. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't heard me say this before, the MACD convergence, where you have the 12-day exponential moving average intersecting with the 26 in an upward fashion, shifting the momentum from bearish to bullish, that's an extremely good sign for a swing trade position. So that being said, right now, it's basically telling us that the bulls have taken control. We should expect them to control the market for the next however many days, right? That time frame is always tentative. We don't know, but it's a shift in momentum nonetheless. And that's why being a good trader is understanding and identifying those things. That's why this is very helpful, because of the fact that, instead of trying to just find the bottom and buy the dip, which obviously we were able to do recently, but we never truly know where the bottom is. Instead, the better theory is to be a good, efficient trader. That's what I like to do. I like to trade in a scenario where we have confirmation knowing the bulls are in control, right? So I use the VWAP and the EMA on the 15-minute chart for identifying shorter time frames, but larger time frames. 4 hour candlestick, we're looking at a MACD convergence. Awesome. So we identified we got a MACD convergence on the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart, right? The price is now above the Ishimoku cloud on the 1 hour chart. Check number 2, double rainbow, awesome stuff, all in. Right? So for lack of better terms, minus all the other indicators that we still want to look at, those two are very key and very pivotal in the sense that we are definitely in bullish territory right now. The only milestone we have to overcome, right, is a 1 day candlestick closing above the resistance of 2150. So it could very well break that right now, in fact, while we're sitting here recording this video. If it does, all well and good, but it needs to close and stay above in order for it to be considered a support, right? So if we can get that to stay a support, we got the RSI back over 70 on the 1 day candlestick. We're looking fantastic to continue this momentum. So all good stuff here. Pretty darn bullish on KDA here. I like it. Let me take a quick look at the baseline and lagging span here as well. Regression conversion line and the baseline. We can see that the conversion line is above the baseline too. That's an excellent sign. So if you know anything about the Ishimoku cloud, that is very similar to the MACD convergence. They're kind of moving averages, for lack of better terms. And when the blue is above the orange, again, that's the color that I chose. It probably will be different for you. The conversion line is above the baseline. Then that's an even better of a sign to let you know that you're on the right track. Okay. So all in all, going along with Kadena right now, I think is pretty likely. But the key takeaway here is we're above the cloud. Now we can invest, right? So we shouldn't invest prior to, but we can now. That's kind of the general consensus. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. TD sequential, we got a nice little reset there, so we could literally see another 8 to 10 hours worth of bullish momentum from Kadena. Let's take a look at big picture here as well. And this is shaped on Kadena's, original low, right? So the lowest point over back in November 6th, that's roughly about, just say, 2 weeks worth of trading as a rough estimate, just a little under. So in the last 2 weeks, Kadena has averaged a pretty decent amount of growth, right? From bottom to top, about 80-90% in this, this Fibonacci retracement time frame, this table, right? So if it's taken 11 days to increase 80% to get that same amount of increase, we could likely see somewhere in the range of about $35, about $35.70 as a rough estimate for the next, couple of weeks. So I'd say by year end, we're seeing Kadena at about 35. That's very likely. So again, don't be afraid to add to your position presently. Just be aware that we might get a slight amount of resistance here at that level at $21. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert here. And we're going to go ahead and do an alert for about $20.50. So the price comes back down, I'll add to my position here because there's a chance it might get resisted out here, but keep in mind it has a tremendous amount of momentum and there's a lot of great indicators here. So don't hesitate to feel free to dollar cost average, put money in there right now. Okay, it's not a bad thing. I like to buy the dip after it hits resistance levels, and this has proven to be somewhat of a resistance level in the recent past. So it might reject out there for a little bit. See how it responds. But again, key takeaway here: 1 day candlestick closed above 2150. We're green, all green lights, right? Good to go. Add to position. we'll see it at 30 plus, right? Again, this is all pending Bitcoin doesn't go sub 58,000 though. I hope you understand that. Please have alerts set up on Bitcoin for 59,000, 58,500, and 58,000 to ensure that you are notified when that happens. If that were to happen, it'd be a strong consideration to pay attention to how Kadena responds, because Kadena has crashed in the recent past based on Bitcoin sell-offs. And I want you to be aware of that. That's why we always look at Bitcoin first, and every good trader should do that. If you can become a Bitcoin master, coins like this make perfect sense. It becomes so much easier when you understand that. Anyways, I know I've mentioned that before, and I'm kind of running over on time here. So thanks again for watching. I hope you found something enlightening here today, of course. If you'd like to consider showing your support for the channel, feel free to like and subscribe, or join me on my Patreon community, where I actually teach you how to become a better trader. And it's kind of more of a collective environment where everyone's learning together. And I share all the trades that I take, so you can hopefully learn from that. So check that out in your own time. But thanks again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.